Want to marvel at the magnificent frescoes of the Baroque masters, or float through Paris on the Seine River? Walk on the Great Wall of China, or discover a chocolate shop in a quaint German town? Viking River Cruises offer exceptional experiences along the world's great waterways. Your floating luxury hotel takes you to legendary towns and villages where you can immerse yourself in culture and history. Contact Expedia Cruise Ship Centers to discover exceptional values on Viking River Cruises.
It's always exciting to plan your next vacation, your next trip, and our next guest is somebody who can do a great job of helping you to plan your next cruise experience. Chris Meyer is with us today from Expedia. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Rob. Great to be here.
Good to have you with us. You know, a lot of the folks in this community love to travel, and they've maybe traveled for years. We also have some people who maybe have never been on a cruise and they kind of want to put their toe in the water. So you help both groups, the experienced cruiser who kind of knows what they want, and then the new person who's maybe a little bit apprehensive of what's it all about, what am I going to do? You help them to kind of overcome some of the hurdles to get involved in cruising.
Well, exactly. It can be complex and it can be a little overwhelming to people. So we see our job as really delivering the ultimate value. We have the pricing of Expedia, which is the biggest travel company in the world and the pricing leader, and we have concierge service. So one of the most gratifying things that we've had in our business is we ask people when they book a trip to bring a photo in from their trip. So people have brought their photos back, a proposal at the Eiffel Tower, an 80th birthday multi-generational celebration in Maui, the ultimate family trip in Costa Rica, and when they brought their pictures back to put on our bulletin board, our mosaic, if you will, they booked their next trip.
That's great. That's great. Well, a couple of challenges that people face in this community, and one of them is, you know, anymore today, we don't like to fly any more than we have to. So a lot of times people say, you know, I'd like to take a cruise, I'd like to go here or there or somewhere, but I'd really like to just be able to maybe take a bus or a shuttle or drive my car to a local port somewhere and leave my car or have a shuttle drop me off, take the ship, take the cruise, and then get home the same way. So I don't have to fly somewhere. And I understand you've got a special listing to help people with that problem.
Yeah, you know, what's really great is over the generations, there's become more options. Of course, for a long time, there was that iconic Love Boat cruise, the Mexican Riviera. And, you know, a lot of people have done that. And so the various cruise lines have brought more options. Very popular trip is up the Pacific coast. In fact, it's sold out this fall and it's already selling out in the spring, but it's a really nice trip up from Los Angeles, hitting Santa Barbara, a couple nights in San Francisco, so maybe you can do one day in the city and one day up in Napa, you know, back to Catalina. Some of them hit Monterey, some of them go all the way up to Astoria, Oregon. Some really fantastic trips up there. And then there's the 14-day round trip to Hawaii, where you get some sea days and you get to hit each of the islands in Hawaii.
That would be, you know, that used to be the way to go to Hawaii, was the Lurleen or all those, you know, but now for those and the folks in this community, certainly that have retirement years now, can enjoy that, can take that time. It used to be, no, we have to hop on the plane and fly there and get there as quick as we can. Now it's more leisurely, and that's a great way to see the islands.
And you know, the flights to Hawaii can be expensive, but you can basically drive to the port in San Pedro, get on that ship for about $100 a day. Wow. You can spend 14 days making your way to Hawaii, being fed and entertained, hitting each of the islands and coming back, and then back to San Pedro.
And I understand some of the most dramatic views of the Hawaiian Islands are from the ocean side. Obviously, if you're there in a rental car or on a tour bus, you're going to see it from the ground looking out at the ocean. So this way you're at the ocean looking in at the islands, and that's pretty dramatic.
Well, two seminal things they do on these cruises is they go up the Nepali coast on Kauai, which could be a separate trip that you would take either on a catamaran and a Zodiac, which are wonderful trips to take, but actually your cruise ship takes you with those dramatic cliffs and those dramatic waterfalls and everything. And another one is they take you on a night sail to the volcano, the erupting volcano on the big island of Hawaii, where you get to see the red lava flowing into the ocean. So those are pretty great.
Hawaii tends to recreate itself on an ongoing basis and builds more land over the years. You can see those lava flows. Most recent ones from the 60s and 70s are now starting to become homes in some cases.
It's still growing.
Yeah, it's still growing indeed. Another challenge a lot of people deal with is it's great to travel as a couple or two friends or whatever, but sometimes people just want to go by themselves. Either they're alone, they don't have a spouse, or they just want to travel by themselves. A lot of times the cruise lines will really tag you with an extra cost if you're going to travel by yourself, and you've got some ways to help in that area as well.
Well, we've just heard from residents, not only of local cruises, but this single traveler interest. And we're trying to attack it in two ways. One of the things we're doing is we're keeping a list of single travelers, and we're asking them to tell us what they want to do, and we're trying to give them opportunities to meet other people with similar goals so they can pair up. Some people are uncomfortable with that. So another option is we're looking at where you can cruise or vacation without getting stung. So we have a resident who just recently is doing a land trip, national parks of the Southwest with Globus, and special reduced single supplement there. Some of the cruise lines, subject on availability, also have a reduced single supplement. So we're looking out for those. For instance, right now, if you wanted to do a river cruise from Paris to Normandy, you can basically pay as a single what typically people would pay for a full double cabin.
Right.
Same price.
Right.
On Alma Waterways. Azamara has some specials. All 2013, they have reduced single supplements on most of their cruises. Norwegian Cruise Lines, actually their newest two ships, have special single cabins. So these are single cabins that open up into a secure family room, if you will. So you have your small cabin for yourself, but then you open up, there's a coffee bar, there's several big screen TVs, some sofas. You can mingle with other singles there in a secure environment, and then go out to the rest of the ship. And that's an innovation that they've seen such demand for. In the future, they're going to do more of.
Cruise industry responding to the requests of some of the clientele. So that's a good, so think about that if you're a single traveler, if you want to get involved in all of that. You've got some special events coming up in this fall of the year, a good time to think about planning for 2013. You've got a couple special events in your office.
Yeah, I think one of the best ones we have coming up is Britain Day, and that's Saturday, October 13th. You know, we all watched the Olympics, and it got us interested in the mother country there. Yeah. Well, Jane Shobe, one of our consultants, spent the first half of her life in Britain and the second half of her life in Laguna Hills. And she is leading a group back to a tour of England, Scotland, and Wales in May of 2013. We're calling it Back to Britain with a Brit. And she's going to, it's a professional Globus tour, but she's going to be the host, your neighbor hosting you, and she's going to take you to the sites of her childhood where she grew up and give you the special stories about that, while also seeing the iconic places like Stonehenge and of course that crosswalk in Liverpool the Beatles walked across.
Oh yeah. I guess there's actually a website, and it actually tells you if you want to replicate that picture. I guess the only challenge is walking across in bare feet like Paul, or can you find the Volkswagen? I would think there'd be some enterprising person with a VW with that plate and charge people to park his car there while you take this picture.
There was a picture, I think it was the U.S. women's gymnastics team trying to replicate.
Trying to replicate that, yeah. The photographer takes their life in their hands on that when they have to stand in the middle of the street. So be careful if you want to go take that picture outside Abbey Road Studios. But a lot of opportunities there. Sounds great. People can contact your office, 201-4246.
Exactly.
Give a call, and you're available, and you can hook them up with all kinds of options in travel. Sounds great.
Exactly.
Chris, thank you so much. Good to have you on the program today. Chris Meyer, Expedia Travel, and again, some great opportunities for you. Give them a call and find out about those upcoming events. That Britain one sounds like a lot of fun with somebody who actually lived there. That would be a great opportunity. We'll be coming back with more as our Wednesday program continues for you. Stay with us.